Thanks for joining Prep RS once more. I want to talk to you about the importance of clean water. I've got Shelley with me today and I've got Renee. So ask any questions you like, but I want to tell you about how to get clean, drinkable, or potable as they call it, water. Because in Spain a couple of weeks ago, all the water supplies stopped because electricity all went down. And you may not know this, Shelley, but all water is pumped by electricity. And when that stops working, the water will stop very shortly afterwards. So it's all pumped. Now in Spain, they were down for about a day. Nobody could explain what went wrong. If it was down for 3 days, people would have started to die in great numbers.
And I personally had a friend, my girlfriend, who lives in Portugal, and she called me during this time and said, "Oh, everything it's crazy out here. The water was sold out, so you couldn't get any bottled water.
Well, you couldn't buy water because the tills were down.
The tills were down, so she was quite nervous, definitely.
I mean, it might be some traders that take large amounts of money and pass you a couple of bottles, but the tills were down, so they couldn't officially sell you anything. Shops closed down and pulled the shutters down and went away. Traffic lights weren't working, the trains weren't, the planes weren't, you couldn't get out of the towns or the city. The only real way of finding water was the river. Now when you go in and drink water from a river, you're taking a lot of risk in your own hands. Goodness knows what might be in that water, but there's ways you could treat it. I mean, my son Matthew went to India, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, and he got his credit card and he went on a train for what he thought was 8 hours, but in fact it was 18 hours. People on the train felt sorry for him and his girlfriend and gave him little drops of water, which isn't brilliant, but when he arrived at the station, the final station, he thought he could buy some water for them both, but he couldn't because they'd never heard of a credit card in that part of India. So they soon noticed the village pond, dirty water. I thought we're going to have to drink some of that because we can't buy anything. But Matthew remembered that I'd given him some tablets to take, chlorine tablets really, which I'll show you here. Travellers can carry these, things like these, look, they're little tablets inside some tin wrapping. They're very, very tiny, and if you mix one of these with a litre of water, it'll tell you the instruction on them. Put it in a bottle.
Fill plastic water bottle with water, and then add 1 tablet, shake well, and leave for 15 minutes before drinking.
Absolutely.
So in 15 minutes you can have this ready.
And there's one right there. They're tiny, but they will save your life. You can put them in a bottle like this. But let me show you this. So what I would say, Shelley, is always know where your water's going to come from if the worst scenario happens and water doesn't come to your tap. This is another one. This is a very modern Life straw. They're really good. You can fill that full of the pond water or from the barrel, your gardening barrel at the house, and that will completely filter every bacteria and foreign body in there, and you put that in and you can literally drink it through a straw. Can
you drink it straight away, or do you need this to sit and filter for a while? Is this immediately
It's immediate.
Okay, so that's pretty smart.
It literally filters it for you, and then you drink it through a straw at the top. Here's an earlier version that doesn't have a reservoir. It's like that. I actually cut this open so we could take a close look at it. It's lots of little, very, very fine straws, so the bacteria can't get into it. Look, so small that the bacteria can't actually get up and get into it over the water, and you literally, you literally draw it up as you want it. The downside with that is you've got to either get a container with the water in, or you've got to get down to the puddle or wherever you are and drink it on your belly. But with this one, you can literally lap it up first. If you want to filter water, I would use, because of the bigger particles, the dirt, the sludge, I would say just use a coffee type filter.
Okay, so that sort of works like having lots of little straws.
This isn't going. This isn't going to purify the water so it's fit for drinking. But if it's from a pond or a puddle, it will will get the bigger matter
Okay, the
separated
muck.
out, all the muck and dirt and
okay.
the floating stuff. It'll get rid of that, but then you need to treat it with something, and you've got lots of choices. Even household bleach
Wow.
will purify your water.
So you could take water from a pond, filter it slightly with, say, a coffee filter, and then you can add this.
A little bit of this, yeah.
Okay.
What they say is one with a scent to it isn't the best unless it's lemon, perhaps.
Right.
Try and get a bleach that's unscented.
Okay.
So there's no taste to it.
I had no
bleach
idea
is
you
good.
could use
You can also use, you can also use things like this. This is used mainly for the wine and brewing industry. Camden tablets, they're great as well. You can use those. You've got choices, and you can use iodine. That's iodine.
Iodine?
It's called iodine, and you can.
Wow, is this blue dye?
It's usually yellow.
Well, I don't think it's coloured.
Oh, okay.
But you literally tip a few drops of that. Instructions will be on it, so
Yeah.
iodine can do it. Now, have a look on the PrepRS website, because there's a whole section on purifying water, a lot more depth than I'm going to now.
Right.
If you want to do it on a bigger scale, purifying water.
So one quick question: the bleach
Yes.
that intrigues me because I had no idea. I always thought this was only for cleaning. In fact, if you digest this, you would be sick. So how long would one need to keep this in the water, or would you before drinking it?
I generally, rule of thumb, I'd give it 20-25 minutes to give it time to kill everything. You don't put many drops in there, but the instructions are either on the PrepRS website or take a look on online. If there is an online, because the thing is, Renee, when the power goes down, there is no online.
Right. So it's good to have the knowledge in your brain.
A household thing you everybody could have in their house.
One thing I would say is that the rule of thumb is that you can live for 30 days without food, 3 days without water, and normally 3 minutes without air. So you've only got 3 days without water. Okay, and if you can't get to the river,
your body will shut down.
If you're in a city of millions, you will not get near the river. You won't get to the river. They'll all be going like this, millions of them. And when I last went to London, I couldn't get anywhere near the river because there was a flotilla, a royal flotilla going up and down. And you were 20 people back. The same would happen if they all needed water.
If everyone needed water,
So this is the British Burkerfield. They still make them. They're brilliant. They were made and designed for the British Army who went to Egypt and abroad where they couldn't rely on the quality of the water. Basically, you put water in this top section from a pond or a river, and then it literally goes through these ceramic filters that also have silver in to purify the water.
Is it okay if I touch it?
Yeah, because no bacteria.
Feels cool.
Yeah, no bacteria can survive either silver or copper.
Okay.
So then it goes into this bottom one here, and you put your lid back on, and it comes out pure. You can drink. So that's another way of doing it.
Do you know how long it takes to filter through here?
It's pretty slow.
It's slow, okay.
Yeah.
So you would need some time to prepare yourself.
I'd say something like half a cup, Renee, per hour.
Per hour, okay.
It's slow, but you can have 3 or 4 of these. And they're all going, these are instant.
Prepared.
Yeah, these are instant. You just draw them up and do it like that. Now, I would say while we're talking water, bottled waters are great. But it's plastic, which is oil-based really, which will start to leach into the water. They say 18 months absolute maximum with that. And of course the sun's rays and light can get in.
I've recently read that you should not keep, if you have any bottled water in your car and it's been sitting in there, you shouldn't drink it because it gets heated up from the plastic. So something to be worried about.
But on the other hand, that you can buy here in the UK, water, probably in America as well, water in cans. That will last for 30 years. 30 years life. Because the sunlight can't get at it and the air can't get at it. And so if you want a little water, there it is. Thanks for watching. We'll do more on this because it's such an important subject. Cheers, Shelley, thank you.
Thank you, Phil, for having us
today.
Oh, yeah.